everybody, welcome back to Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate the Star Wars movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
I'm Alex Robinson from AlexRobinson.fun.
And I'm John from John. Sitting in his attic staring at people out the window.
I'm L. Adam from sitting in the guest room seeing my own face on a screen and feeling really weirded out.
I got this. All right.
Oh,
That is a
on.
niche site.
You had to throw that .com. Well, anyway, thanks, fellas, for coming back. It's the Alphabeatical Reunion Week continues.
John's tired.
I could tell
So
he's
sorry.
sick of us already.
He's
Yeah,
so
I know.
tired.
Oh,
I
there you
gotta
go.
get some of that
I'm
attic
making me work
coffee.
in.
Yeah.
Today we're talking about minute 122, 122. 122 with, what was it? Reba Bamboo.
Bamboo.
Reba Bamboo.
122 starts with the TIE fighters closing in on our heroes and ends with the Millennium Falcon flying in to save the day, which if you, that might be the same explanation of start and end point that I used for a minute in the original Star Wars.
Oh, it takes you back, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, I don't think that's minute 122 of that, but, you know, you never know. Actually, I do know, and it's not.
Why does the Resistance even have ground troops in this situation? What are they possibly hoping to achieve by having a string of like guys with guns up against these gigantic things? It's not like they have fields of, maybe they didn't know what they were going to be throwing at them, but
I mean, there's a trench there. You don't want to waste it.
Yeah. It's like,
Seems like
it's
you'd
like,
be better
hey,
off
is this
filling
fire
the-
pole still work? Like that kind of a thing, where they're just like, hey, there's a trench. Let's go.
yeah, I could see the appeal. Like, well, we should probably go out in the trench, right? We should probably get ready
Yeah.
in the trench.
The Resistance, it's like Native Americans. You use every part of the abandoned base.
There you go.
It's
Yeah.
very
Trenches.
thoughtful of them.
Yes, the ski speeders, everything.
Mhm.
Or
The sand, the salt.
or the commander was like a really big devotee of everything that happened on Hoth.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
Well,
he's
like-
yeah.
Oh, right.
Empire.
We're gonna use the Reichian
Yeah.
strategy.
Right. Yeah. Do we have any turrets? No turrets. All right.
Are there any
want
wampas we
familiar.
have on hand that we could release once we're leaving? Anyway.
Somebody paint that protocol droid white.
Where's Ratzenberger?
Yeah.
Get me Ratzenberg.
They should have had a scene with Chewie with like red salt on his nose. But he was busy.
There are some. I think we mainly got them in yesterday's minute, but there are some ski speeder cockpit shots, POV,
Mhm.
that are very Hothy, very
Yeah.
much Rogue Squadron-y.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I mean, that's what we're evoking
Yeah.
here, so it makes sense.
It's like a wall-to-wall homage.
Right.
It's funny to think that even in universe, there are like we said, there are like military fans who are like, oh,
Right.
we should totally do a battle just like Hoth. You know what I mean? Like I guess that's why they use the Imperial Walkers too, because they're just as much a fan of the original designs as they're just as nostalgic about them as we are. So,
But it was the trooper that like took it in his fingers and was like, "Oh, it's salt." He was the one that came up with the plan. Then when he realized it was salt, he just became so disillusioned. Was like, "We're not winning this war.
wow,
It only
my
works in
whole-
snow. This
My whole
only works
scenario
in
was
snow."
based around snow. This
Salt
is salt. I
metaphor.
don't even know.
yeah,
Because it was a metaphor for the blood that they would be shedding.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right.
It is definitely very visually striking. So
Yeah.
on that level, I'll
You think a different color would have been better? Blue?
Blue salt. Blue
Hmm.
crystals under the salt. No, I think red
Blue
is
crystals?
I think the red
Red
is
on
the
white.
way to go.
Red is good because the way
Yeah.
they introduce it anyway, you think the
Yeah.
guy's been shot or something. 'cause
and it's
he's
like Santa
red.
Claus. It reminds you of Santa Claus, red and
Right,
white.
yeah.
So,
What? Yeah.
candy canes.
Yeah.
It's
They wanna-
the
they
North
wanna sell
Pole after
toys.
a bloody massacre.
I do like the idea though that they were sitting there like, wow, it's the dark time for the Resistance. Wait a minute. What happened? What did they do when it was a dark time for the rebellion? And they just like totally like hashed out, like watching old footage. Like, get the tapes.
Yeah, they put the Empire Strikes Back on to inspire
Right, yeah.
them.
Having a
Most of them
Mr.
escaped.
Coffee.
So they're like firing up the gun. Is this where they start charging it and everything?
I think that's the next.
I think
that
the
this one?
next
or the last scene.
Yeah, this is mainly kind of
Right.
more. I don't know if
Yeah.
it starts.
I think it's towards the end of this
Yeah.
week.
But the TIE fighters are definitely here, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
TIE pilots
They've-
just always look amazing.
Yeah.
Such a
There's-
great design.
Mm.
Yeah, and they sound amazing too.
I'm always amazed that they take the trouble. I guess it shouldn't be amazing if they do it in every film, but that they actually take the trouble of building the inside of a TIE fighter and filling an actor with that stuff, even though it's literally just going to be like a 2-second shot every now and then. But they're always fun to see.
Maybe,
Yeah, I mean-
maybe you're amazed.
Ah,
Um,
that would be something.
They just film like 20 hours of that same person in the cockpit.
Yeah, and they could do it
splice
over Zoom,
for the
so it's
entire
fine.
next trilogy is just
yeah,
that same
they just
pilot.
had somebody just doing the same thing. Like for Force Awakens, they just had a lot
Yeah.
of like, okay, now jostle. Okay, now
Lock on,
nod.
twist your knob.
twist
It
your
would
knob.
have been.
Can't they have like one shot that they steal, like in Ice Pirates when they kept cutting to Logan's Run for the exterior? Same guy.
Right.
It would have been funny if in Rogue One, if they used unused footage of the Imperial pilots and had them, you know what I mean, like the same way that they used old footage of Gold Leader and Red Leader and put them
Right.
in the movie. If they actually used old footage of the actual 70s pilots doing their thing, as opposed to
In this.
in Rogue
Mhm.
One, like
Oh, in
the
Rogue
same
One, yeah.
Amazing.
the same effect, but no,
Yeah.
see if
Right.
anyone would even notice it. But
Right.
anyway,
Somebody should mix up this and the Hoth battle scene and see what happens.
Mm.
have them fighting each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put this to the music from the Miko rendition of
Yeah.
the Hoth music from the Miko
Mhm.
Empire Strikes
Yeah.
Back one. Totally.
Oh yeah.
I'm also going to say maybe throw in a little Spies Like Us or
Ooh.
some other snow
Soulfinger?
thing. The thing,
Yeah.
maybe some other snowbound characters
What
show
ab-
up in this.
Can we use? I feel like this came up recently, but can we use some of the maybe the training from Rocky 4?
Yes, it's
Okay.
Ken.
He's running around in the snow.
He's running around in the snow and lifting
Yeah.
big logs.
Mhm.
Yeah, you could have
and then-
Rudolph and Hermie show up.
Sure.
Rudolph
sure.
and
Ooh,
Hermie.
yeah.
Maybe the
Yukon
Shining. Can we
Cornelius?
use a little bit
Jack
of
Shining,
Frost.
oh
Shining?
man, this is like the winter crossover event of the summer.
The winter battle forever. Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, we got to get some Game of Thrones guys in there, the White
Oh, yeah.
Walkers and
Well, there are some. That would be weird. We should try to use scenes with actors that are already in the scene,
yeah.
so it'll be confusing. Like Game of Thrones scenes with the actors who are already in the scene.
Oh
Uh-huh.
right,
Yeah, that
there you
makes
go.
sense.
Or we could do the same if there's Hoth footage in here too. Then we can mix in actors who are in The Shining with actors who are in Hoth.
Mhm.
Wow, this is getting very Venn. This is
Mainly,
getting very Venn
mainly
diagram.
it's just another excuse for me to do some Burnell Tucker work. But
Well, speaking of having fun,
Mhm.
the Falcon shows up. We haven't seen
Yes.
that good old ship in a while.
it's a good reveal because
Yeah.
it's like we were talking about this a little bit. It's this type of thing that we like, where it gives you a little bit of an advance warning.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The Thai
You've-
kebab is great.
You see like the shadow of it first, and it's like it's almost like the previous when we first saw the Falcon, and you get a
Mhm.
little
Yeah,
tease of it before you actually get to see it.
Eves.
I remember Matt Groening talking about the design of The Simpsons
Mhm.
and saying that his theory was that if you're a strong cartoon character should have a unique silhouette where you could see them in silhouette and you know instantly who that is. Like you could see, so that's why all the Simpsons have like different hair and different head shapes because you instantly tell who they are. So you could argue the same thing about spaceships. I think part of the reason so many classic Star Wars ships are iconic is that they're very easy for like a kid to draw and do, an X or a TIE fighter. They're so simple that they're, very recognizable. So,
Did I? I have to have told the story before at some point, but I was at a weird party once, and
once,
I-
only once.
Yeah.
That's sad.
this
RSVP
one
weird.
this is a specific weird party, but we
Okay.
came back from the came back from the bathroom and somebody's like, "Oh, did you see what'd you think of the bathroom?" I was like, "Oh, it's cool. Like, but yeah, but did you look at the walls?" I'm like, "What about? There's just like lighting fixtures on the walls. They're like a bunch of different ones. It was kind of neat, created." Like he was like, "No. When you go again, if you go again later, look
Not
look
now.
at the walls."
Yeah.
And so then I'm out, hanging out, talking to people, and like
I gotta take a crap. Sorry.
maybe had a few more drinks, and I go in and I like go into the bathroom. And I look up, and suddenly I'm just hit with the realization that all these little lighting fixtures on the wall are silhouettes of Star Wars ships with lights
Wow.
behind them. And so
wow.
it's very subtle, very just kind of, like a kind of like a flat metal silhouette of a ship with a little space behind it for an LED or something like that. And it created this kind of effect that I didn't even notice the first time. But when I looked closer, I was like, oh, wow. And
That
like
was a
that,
weird party.
I had a few.
Yeah, whose awesome bathroom is that? I want to go pee there.
No.
Skywalker Ranch.
No. Yeah, it's the
Skywalker Ranch bathroom, very boring. In
Everybody
comparison,
that works
let
at
me tell you.
Skywalker Ranch, they come out like, "Did you go to the bathroom?"
It was just like the
Look again.
bathroom of an old house. So,
Well,
and not the bathroom of this old house, which was more interesting because Bob Vila has made some special modifications.
Bob Vila knows those cutouts,
Mhm.
knows the silhouettes.
I wrote the while we're talking about the Falcon and the was it the
Snowman?
Falcon or no, it's the ski speeder.
No, I haven't seen that one.
That when the TIE fighter is following it and we see the graphic and it's a little bit kind of upgraded or downgraded. It's almost like a Nintendo, like an 8-bit kind of graphic on his display when he's chasing the or she when the TIE pilot is chasing the speeder. The targeting computer doesn't have that kind of classic linear look. It looks a little bit pixelated, and it looks almost like they got a Nintendo instead of
Oh,
Or a
I'll pick up
Coleco,
on
at
that.
least.
ColecoVision. There you go.
yeah. We'll have to go back and check that.
And he switches it over to Popeye, or
It's a Nintendo Switch.
it should be.
Yes.
That'll be the next movie. They'll keep getting one iteration later.
Yeah.
Switches it to
And
Popeye.
We
Popeye the
get
game.
Yeah. That's I think what I played the most on ColecoVision. My neighbor had it, and we played Popeye like all the time.
Keystone Capers for me.
There's something about Chewie's roar in this. His face when he's doing his trademark roar. He looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger when he's eating ice cream with Alyssa Milano in Commando. And I just couldn't stop seeing it. And now I got to go watch Commando when this is done.
Wow.
Now I have to too. Thank you.
No problem.
Has
eating
somebody
ice.
done Commando Minute? I'm assuming, right?
Commando Minute.
Do you think that was an
I'm
intentional
wearing underwear
homage
today.
on Ryan Johnson's part? He was like,
Yeah. He was like, all right, now
to
remember
evoke
when
that shot.
Schwartz, he's eating ice cream. He loves it. That's a bad impression.
If
but
so, it'd be one of my, this would bump this way up in my rankings if that was an intentional Commando nod.
I want you to eat ice cream like Chewbacca.
No, nobody's doing Commando Minute, so just going to throw
All
that
right,
out there.
I'm all for it.
Mhm.
Welcome to Commando Minute. How are you?
We get to see Rey as the gunner,
mm-hmm.
which we haven't seen yet. So we get Chewie piloting the Falcon by himself, which we theorized he could do.
Mhm.
And
The first time we've seen it. Right?
Han was
get-
never flying it.
That's not true. We've seen
That's
Chewie flying it
impossible.
solo.
and we
Solo?
saw him in Solo.
Wait, what?
Did he do it in solo?
I feel like in Empire we saw him flying solo. Even in Star Wars when he's
In Solo, we see him flying Empire, ironically enough.
That's true. I feel like we've seen Chewie flying by himself before.
without a
Maybe
ship.
you're, I don't know.
He's just like,
Yeah, eating ice cream and yelling.
Well, he's flying
I
it
don't-
solo when he drops off Rey, right?
Yeah.
when he drops. Oh yeah, after Rey leaves in the little escape coffin, I guess he does fly it solo. But I can't think of any time that we've seen him doing that before. Usually, it doesn't seem like it's a one-person job, and we've seen a handful of people do it.
So you think in Star Wars when first of all, before I forget, I have to say we're seeing the Falcon and we're seeing its new gunner Rey.
That's it.
I
I'm leaving.
had to say it before I forgot.
Right.
But so you're saying in Star Wars when they're being attacked by the TIE fighters and they're escaping from the Death Star and Chewie's in the ship and Princess Leia's going like, here they come. You think she's actually helping to steer the ship?
A little bit, yeah. Just
Huh.
something.
I just assumed Chewie was just driving it, and she was just kind of there as a passenger. But
She's just like checking her email and like hanging
well,
out.
she's riding shotgun. She's not,
Right. But I think she's doing something.
I don't know.
She's set 327 or whatever.
Right.
Bye, John.
But
I feel like it would be too. That ship has to be able. First of all, Holdo flew the whole Radis with one person on the entire ship. One person has to be able to steer the Falcon in a routine thing, because it's just
this is
otherwise
not a routine thing. Though,
yeah, and it's probably easier now that he has fingers.
Yeah, that's true too. But you'd need more people, because otherwise they'd both have to be awake the whole time when they're like. You would need more people then on the ship. Maybe that's why Han wanted to get Luke to come with him, because he's like, I'm sick of hanging out with Chewie all the time. I need some Han time. You know what I mean?
He now I'm picturing a whole thing where he went back to Kashyyyk in between movies and got his fingers, like the way that Spock goes back and kind of goes back to the Vulcan temple and tries to attain Kalinar.
Oh, I thought he had to buy him back off of Art Carney because he had hocked them.
He had to trade for fingers.
They're gonna take my fingers.
Also, I'd like to officially name the Porg that jumps onto the dashboard Porg Baka.
Porg Baka.
Now wait, is this not the only canonically named Porg? Turbus.
Wait, it actually has a name?
There's one Porg that is officially
Boy,
named.
if that does not demonstrate the sexism of the Star Wars universe, unidentified ski speeder pilot, but we have a Porg who someone has taken the trouble of giving a proper name to.
Yeah, sorry. Turbus is the male Porg who hid away on the Millennium Falcon. Turbus watched the Resistance personnel take on naval forces on the First Order when the First Order launched an attack on the Wookiee homeworld of Kashyyyk. When did that happen?
This sounds like it's from a kid's book or something.
It is. It's under
Because
canon.
I know,
Canon
but
articles.
it's got to be from like
Star Wars Adventures: Ghosts of Kashyyyk.
There you go.
But during a Q&A, Last Jedi director Rian Johnson was asked by Star Wars fan Nathan Jesse what the name of the Porg stowaway was. Porg stowaway leads to a different thing. He gave the question back to Nathan, who came up with the name Turbus. Following Nathan's suggestion, Johnson responded with, Pablo, if you're listening to this live stream, that Porg's name is now Turbus. And the name was later used for a Porg in the comic Star Wars Adventures, although it wasn't confirmed to be the same Porg that we see in The Last Jedi. Aha, so Porg Stowaway is still unnamed. Not confirmed to be the same one. So
That's
we
funny
have
also
Turbus, who was a stowaway Porg on the Falcon in Star Wars comics, but we've got Porg Stowaway, who is the one that we see here. So
I'm gonna start a career writing comics. I'm gonna get a gig on Star Wars, and I'm gonna go back and do a story where it turns out that Porg is the pet of a high-ranking First Order soldier.
Oh,
So
you're saying he's a spy?
like a double agent.
Yeah.
He belongs to a espionage organization.
Oh boy.
Sorry. So wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me does Turbus?
Porg.
Oh, sorry. I apologize. Does that mean is the creature's name? Did a sentient being say, we should call it Turbus? And then they called it that? Or is it story told from like Turbus's point of view where it is referring to him? He's referring to himself as Turbus.
No one knows his name, but he knows he is Turbus.
Right. I thought you were questioning whether Rian Johnson was sentient.
No. I'm assuming he is.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do not know. I have not read it, but I will try to look it up and see if I can read.
That would have enormous implications. The fact that they referred to them by themselves as a name, but they're not just like a,
I Turbus.
Right.
So when the Falcon shows up, Finn gives a hearty cheer, and he's like, "Yeah!" And does he do that all the time?
Yeah, that's all. He's every movie
like
he has to do.
trademark, right?
He either has to yell out for Rey, or he has to really just happily yell something.
Yeah.
He seems like the emotion emphasizer. Whatever the mood is, he's there to be like,
Sounds like it's
or
scary.
Turn
shit.
on the
Like
emotion
emphasizer.
Yeah, he has two modes. One is just shouting people's names, looking for them,
Yeah.
and then the other one is when he sees them, he gets really excited.
yeah.
So he was just going like, Ray, and he's like, Ray, yeah, like he gets all excited.
Yeah. Well, that's probably why he's excited also about the Falcon, because presumably he would assume Rey is on the ship.
Right. Although he might be a little bit like, Rose, we gotta let's cool it off for a little bit because
Hoorah.
Yes. So we don't see Rey. Speaking of Rey, we don't see how
See
she
Rey.
got from Snoke, from the supremacy to, it all happens off camera, that
right.
she gets on Snorks.
Come along,
Undersea.
the snorks.
Sorry, she gets on Smurf's escape craft and then rides that to,
Snopes.com.
I guess, meet up with the Falcon, and I guess she was able to. So I'm
Right.
kind of disappointed we never got to see, because he would probably have a really nice escape. It'd be all cushions, and it'd be like Jeannie's
With
bottle
slippers,
on
there's
I Dream of
slippers
Jeannie.
there.
Like that. It's all pillows and
Mm.
silks
Yeah,
and things
my
like that.
my brother just sent me a picture, like behind the scenes of that, like with a cutaway, where it was just like the whole wooden structure.
Really?
Like sound
Genie's
guide.
bottle.
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh, I
Oh,
thought you meant the ship, and I was like, it was made out of wood.
It was.
That would
actually,
be
yes.
retro. No, I meant
Yeah.
Snoke's ship. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Although maybe it's not. Maybe it's the opposite. That it's like he's confident enough in not using it that
Oh.
it's like an old beater.
He has
I
almost
don't
like
know.
boxes of old papers and
Yeah,
his
it's like
college
a-
yearbooks and everything just stored
it's,
in there.
It's like a
Just-
rusting out Corolla with
Yeah.
like Burger King wrappers in the back seat. And Ray is like, oh,
because
come on.
because everything in Star Wars is connected. It's just the salvaged escape pod that C-3PO and R2-D2
Oh, there you go.
left in.
I like it.
they found it, refurbished it. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
Although there's still
What
be
are the
graffiti that
odds?
R2 carved into the wall. That would say like R2 with 3PO.
Yeah.
R2 was here, and then
And also, what's his name from Shawshank? Was it Red? I can't
All
remember.
right.
yeah, Red
Squads.
Reb Squad.
Well, here's a note. I mentioned this, I think, yesterday, but this is in minute 122. This is where Star Wars ends, everybody.
What?
This is where
is
the
end of
original
Star Wars.
the original Star Wars movie it goes to, there's 8 seconds of silence at the end of minute 122, and that's it. That was our that's the end of Star Wars. So movie
Wow.
over.
Movie over.
What's
Everybody-
the next longest one? Attack of the Clones?
I am not going to do that math right now, but
I felt like
Attack of
Rise
the
of
Clones is
Skywalker was
pretty
really long.
That's probably true.
I can't go forward in time. I can only go
Oh,
backwards in time and see that we're still in the credits on Empire Strikes Back and Star Wars Special Edition. But most of the other movies are there's still action going on in pretty much all of them. So, but Star Wars over.
Done.
Let's have a little graphic where cross out Star Wars. I'm not going to
goodbye, Star Wars.
And not a New Hope anymore. Like a done hope. A Bob
Hope.
hope. Done hope.
Done hope.
But that's all I had for 122. Do you guys have anything else specific to this minute? We got more along these lines. We see what happens with the Falcon showing up and all that.
I have one more thing, but it'll keep.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just going to ask if you guys saw that movie 1917, because the trench always just made me think of that movie, which was very good.
I did not.
I am very eager to see that movie, because I'm a middle-aged white guy into world wars,
and you got to see the Peter Jackson one of World War I footage.
I started watching it,
Hmm.
and I don't know. I didn't care for it as much.
Probably because you knew how it ended.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, the visuals were fantastic. I mean, anyway. Not going to get into that. But why own a 1917? No, but I'm waiting for it to show up on a streaming service. We subscribe to
gotcha.
15 different streaming services. I am not going to pay for a video on demand. It's ridiculous.
But those are all party streamer services.
They
Yeah.
are. They can be very partying.
Or
This is true.
bicycle streamers, like the ones that put in your handlebars.
Yeah. So anyway, but
I
no,
accidentally
nothing
signed
else
up
for
for a
Minute 120.
screaming service, which somebody just comes over and shouts at me every day. And
Yeah.
Angar,
Angar.
where the hell were you?
I
You're
keep
late.
forgetting to unsubscribe, and it keeps happening.
I like that you were right there with me, Alex. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, hopefully you guys will be right here with us tomorrow. Can you guys
That'd
come
be
back
awesome.
and talk more about that?
Totally.
In the meantime, why not check out StarWarsMinute.com/merch? You might be able to find the shirt that Alex is wearing. We might have some new options, some new things happening up there. So check back frequently and often and on a regular basis, and you might see some new things popping up there.
Porg and fresh. Just do poppin' fresh as a porg.
But also, go do that. Put the shirt on. Meet us back here with it tomorrow for a brand new Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.
You'll hear me.